Wow, we're live. It's Friday night here in the Philippines. Very exciting as I'm broadcasting from my phone. Oh, wait. Let me plug in my microphone. I hope you can hear me. Stand by. I'm going to plug in my lapel mic. You can hear me okay. Can you go ahead and give me a number 1 if my mic is working, and give me a number 2 if it's a pile of crap? That would be very, very helpful. Number 1 if the mic is working and you could hear me, and number 2 if you can't hear me. You can hear me. That's fantastic. Okay, so here's the setup. I got you on my phone just in case there's a brownout, because we've been having a lot of them. And if the computer goes belly up, I want to still be able to complete the live stream, right? I mean, that's important because we're giving away money today, right? Anytime you give away money, that's very, very important. I'm getting my notepad ready. And so, but I am watching you on the big monitor. And so I got the big 32-inch monitor in front of me, and there's a slight delay, but hey, I also have my other phone here. I hope I'm not getting any kind of feedback or anything like that. You'll probably see the phone shaking a little bit as I hit my knee on the desk. Well, anyway, this is the setup for today. I wanted to try it out to see how it worked. So far, so good. Let's see who all is here. How do I find out? Oh, I got to go in here. Got to go into my other phone here. I got phones everywhere. Anime Reyes is here. Journey SML, Smile. Journey Smile is here. Let me give you a jacket if you're still hanging around. Journey Smile. Add as moderator. Okay. Got you covered. We got Rider Adventure, Jean-Zel, Jean-Gat. We have what? Zonamu? I can't see it because I can't read it. Exomu. How do you say that in English? Conan Girl is here. Sweet and spicy, sassy, saucy. Finger licking good is always a good thing. Des is here. Hi, Des. How's everything going for you? Stop by to say hi. Lorraine Pajadas is here. Jay Lynn in the house. Larry Lee. How it be? Tim Desiak is here, getting ready for his trip to Canada and all other parts known and unknown. 14 million people in the house, so I thank you all for being here. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for being a fan. Minnie Snow, what do you know? Prissy Manzanero is here. Rider Adventure. Who did I miss? Laurice is here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Laurice. Happy birthday to you and many more. Cha-cha-cha. Moelma's here. Moelma's in the house. Megan Gomez, one of my favorite people in the whole world, is here. Pacquiao Mertz. I always mess up on the name Pacquiao. Everybody laughs. Everybody is always laughing when I say that name. Pacquiao. It's just not. It's just not something that I can say. I don't know why. I just have a hard time pronouncing it. Who else is here? Who did I miss? Denz Verga is here. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for honoring me with your presence. Who else is here? Who did I miss? I'm still going down the list. I'm checking it twice. Let's see. How's everything? Are you guys getting rained on like we are, James? James is here. James, happy birthday to you. Hey James, are we getting rained on all over the Philippines right now? Are you anywhere in the Philippines? Because it's raining like crazy here, and we've been experiencing brownouts. Pretty Gaming is here. Jalen, I probably already said hello to Jalen. Valerias, how are you? How are you? All right. It's wish James a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. James. Happy birthday. It's James. Now, here in the Philippines, it's a little bit interesting. Sometimes you have women with men's name and men with women's name. And sometimes, it's just different. Oh, let's see. Who else is here? Mike, married to a beautiful woman, is in the house. Thank you all for being here. All right. So it's been an interesting week. You guys know what kind of a week I've had because I broadcasted in a video, right? I mean, what you see is what you get. What you see in the videos that I post is truly the way that we lead our lives. What do we have? 19 million or 20 million people in the house? For example, I sit here every night, I have at least one drink, right? One Fundador. This one I mix with Coke, and it is a beautiful drink. Of course, I like Fundador and Imperador. Fundador is kind of expensive, so I'll drop down every other day, and I'll have a glass of Imperador, and then I'll have a glass of Fundador. By the way, this is a brandy, and it's low carb. If you add Coke Zero to it, it makes for a beautiful drink. So anyway, let's talk about this week, because now you have the neighbor that's building the house. Oh, it wasn't the house that I wanted to talk about specifically. It's what he has to do for a living, right? It's what he does for a living. So, folks, there's something scaring me a little bit. I just want to share it with you, right? I hope you don't mind. I'm not trying to be an alarmist or anything, right? But he's a seafarer. And so there are a lot of people that want to become seafarers because they know that that's the road to wealth. You become a seafarer and you're any good at your job, you're going to make tons and tons of money. Oh, Nitban is here. Hi, Nitban. Nitban is, where you at, Nitban? Kathmandu? You're in some mountaintop somewhere. How did you get an internet hookup? I'm just kind of curious about that. Where are you, Nitban? Nitban checking in. All right, so Nitban's traveling somewhere. I don't know where Nitban is. Was in Thailand. I mean, Nitban in a day can be anywhere. He just decides to go someplace else and away he goes. Oh yeah, that would be the other problem with the stream when you're using a cell phone, is that it's not a direct hookup, right? It's not like a computer. And so, that means it's wireless. And so it's catching the wireless. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. I should have thought about that. All right. So anyway, it's what you do for love. So you're a seafarer, a sailor, and you're working on a ship. There are a lot of people here that they want to go to the Maritime Academy. And plus, once they graduate, oh, Crystal's Adventure is here. Let it go. Let it go. So, all right. So, yeah, you must have a satellite connection. So anyway, Menge is here. All right. So let me continue on. You guys have so much fun in the chat. Let me continue on explaining myself, Lucy. All right. So, so if you're hanging around here and you aren't on a ship, that means something is amiss to me. Now, I don't go around asking people I don't go around and say, hey, why ain't you working? Why aren't you on a ship? I don't go do that. But I'm curious about it. I mean, do you or do you not have a contract? Because there isn't a whole lot of goods being shipped. I've explained this before, that the shipping of goods to the West is falling out, and it's fallen out fast. What's it down? By 40%? 50%? It is down by a lot. And it's going to drop further. And why? Because they're putting tariffs, they're putting taxes, They're imposing taxes on all kinds of stuff in the United States against China. I don't know why they're doing it, because it might have a devastating effect on the U.S. economy. So I'm not in politics. I don't know anything about it. I don't know why they would impose tariffs, because, well, I sort of knew we were in the middle of a trade war. I mean, it was pretty obvious that there's a trade war going on, and there's also a currency war going on between the West and other places like Russia and China. I don't know much about it. I don't claim to know much about it. I'm mostly a parrot. I just parrot things that people say. If the idea makes sense to me, I'll share it with you. So basically what that means is that trouble is coming, and one of the problems is when you're not shipping a whole bunch of stuff from the east to the west, and you don't have to travel through the Panama Canal or other trade routes, then you don't get the tariffs, you don't get to collect the taxes. There are all kinds of taxes involved. There's transit taxes, import taxes, taxes on taxes, and they tax the tax on the taxes. And then when it gets to you, it's taxed. And so there's a decline in revenue. And so that scares me if you want to go to the Maritime Academy, because you think there's actually going to be a job for you by the time you graduate. And I'm telling you that I'm seeing all kinds of people on leave right here in Bye Bye City. They're on leave. Tim, my brother's a sailor, and he's gone 8 months, home 4 months. That's not bad. And so what you have is you have people that are home that should be on contract. They should be they should be sailing the 7 seas right now. They shouldn't be here. Christmas time is coming. Think about this, folks. Here's my reasoning. Here's my reasoning. It may be a very weak argument. I'm just trying to teach how Dan's mind works, right? Oh, that could be dangerous. That could be very dangerous. Christmas time is coming. Right now is when they should be shipping Christmas goods that will become Christmas presents to the West. Right now is the period of where the rush is on to manufacture as many spatulas and plastic bowls as you possibly can, so you can get them over to the West so they can consume and buy all this junk that nobody needs, things that store food and things like that. Things that are going to store your leftover turkey dinner and things like that. And so that tells me, so when the sailors are here building houses or hanging around the coffee shop or visiting their relatives and friends or attending fiestas, that's telling me there is no work. And so the future for the Philippines economy is, it's way different. It's way different than the West. They import a lot of goods here into the Philippines, a lot of goods, a lot of things they import here into the Philippines, right? Because they import most of the things they need. But the thing is that it's coming from places like China and Taiwan and Japan, and it doesn't have to come very far to reach the Philippines. Are you getting me? For some reason, people don't think that there could be a shutdown, a maritime shutdown. For some reason, whenever I talk about this with people, especially if they're in that industry, they're going to be in total and complete denial. First thing he says, oh no, this could never happen. Has it ever happened before in history? Well, no, of course not. Yes, it did. It happened in 2020 when they started parking all the ships off of Manila Bay, and then the employees who were working the cruise ships and some container ships that were stuck out there in the bay had to figure out how to get a ride in to the shore. And from there, they had to figure out how they were going to get home. And so why did they do that? Well, one reason is because a lot of the crew members were Filipinos. They're big on maritime, right? I mean, And also on the cruise ships, they're the hospitality workers. So they had to do something to get them home. And they figured the easiest thing to do would be to go out there and park their ship in Manila Bay and then let them get a dinghy. Yes, a dinghy. And they could row in to shore. And then once they got here, but the whole thing is there's a certain percentage of those workers, they're not Filipino. They were from other countries. And they had to go to their embassies if they had one here, the consulates, and they had to request assistance to get home. Yes, it's medical workers, and that's the point that I was trying to make here, Tim. Tim, the point is that it would be the medical profession that you'd want to pursue, not teaching, not maritime, not anything that has to do with anything that a job that can be that people have stopped shipping stuff. It isn't going to be trike delivery, but it could be food delivery on a trike, but not delivery of packages and things like that. Because people like Lazada and TikTok and Shopee and Amazon will be fighting for every piece of business that there is coming up in the next 10 years. They'll be opening up warehouses to compete with each other. And so the drivers will have a field day as long as they're driving and they're delivering packages and food. But not so much here as it's going to be, there's going to be like an industrial revolution there in the United States, and everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. So I'll segue, I'm going to talk about the medical thing in a moment. Right? I will talk about that in a moment. But let's talk about McDonald's and $25 Happy Meals. If you're one of those people that like to go there. Now here in the Philippines, we haven't been hit with those high prices. But I have noticed this, right? Whether it's true or not. The food is changing, it's changing, and I don't know how. And so you can't, when you're here in the Philippines, or any other place that is not the United States, the quality control of the product, it kind of changes. They don't have as much control over it because they get the support of their corporate franchise headquarters for making these changes. And so that means that they'll substitute items, and they'll present it as being the genuine article. All right, so that's happening. So the reason why that's happening is because they're experiencing inflation too here in the Philippines. And so they have to, the way that they mitigate it, they have an easier path to go than, let's say, McDonald's in the United States does, right? Good evening, Nicole. I missed a few people. Thanks is here. Let me go over this list to see who I missed. Nicole, thanks. A few others. So McDonald's, they have a problem in the West. They have a problem in the United States. Their problem is they're not in the food business per se. They're in the real estate business. Their whole game was to buy the real estate up, build a McDonald's on, and then rent it back to the franchise owner. So not only do they get a collect, it really was a brilliant model that worked for many, many years, decades, right? So they would rent everything out and sell everything out, all the equipment, supply them, and they'd be making a little bit off the top of that stuff. So they would become in trouble if they had to divest themselves of the real estate because those McDonald's couldn't produce enough money or enough income for those franchise owners to pay the rent. And so what would happen is, and so there would be a consolidation where they start closing down hundreds, if not thousands, of McDonald's restaurants. It's not just McDonald's; it's other food places. But McDonald's will have a harder time with it because commercial real estate is sinking. It's going down the drain. It's falling like a rock. You see, Anna G is here. Hi, Anna G. Anna Irene is here. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be drawing for some money pretty soon. So you guys following me? In other words, it's a horse's ass, you know, but it's not going to affect the Philippines the way that it does the West, even though they're tight, even though culturally the Philippines is very similar to the way the West operates in terms of capitalism and free enterprise and freedom and all this other stuff, right? And so that's why I said, that's why it was an easy prediction for me to make in the West, that the fast food places will come up with a new model for making money, and that model most likely will be commissary style fast food places, where bunches of fast food places share one kitchen, and they even share employees, and they just crank out food, and then the panda guys come by on their motors and they pick up the food. They're electric cars. Or it could be they'll use driverless cars. I doubt it, but I think they're still going to be using. They still will have to. Maybe drones will be delivering the food, and they'll make the food up in a commissary style and then deliver it straight to your house, and you're going to love it. Why is this a good plan? That, according to some people, and not necessarily me, I'm just parroting it. Like I said, Larry, I'm just parroting it. It's because if they're driving and you're going to a central location, that means that you're not driving your car all over the place looking for an open McDonald's to buy a Happy Meal. Ta-da! Are you following me? You're not spending your resources, and carbon emissions are not polluting the atmosphere under the green schematic. They will love you if you just simply order online for delivery to your house, from the commissary straight to your house in minutes. That's how it's going to happen. Who here does not think that it's going to happen that way? They're passing all kinds of law in the states that if I were to go over them one by one, it would scare the crap out of you here in the Philippines. You won't understand it. You won't understand it because you won't culturally connect to the kind of stuff that's going on there. You know, the restriction on how much real estate you can own. The law that they just passed, it says you have to make $30,000 in improvements in your house. You have to get rid of natural gas. You have to go completely over to electricity, solar, what do they call it? Electric heat pumps, electric water pumps, right? Stuff like that. No more central air and heat that uses natural gas. Rain tax, where you get charged for every square foot that you have non-permeable surface on your house, which would include a driveway. And if it doesn't have an electric car in the driveway and it has a gasoline car, then you're going to be taxed for that. That's what's going on in the West. And why is it happening? Because the people like me are dying off, and we were the breadwinners, and we were contributing to the tax base. And so when you don't have guys like me working anymore because we're retired, we become useless eaters, and we're basically just sucking wind. We're just sucking your air, right? So they're going to be more supportive of the working folks. And when I go in and start complaining about stuff, they may not be so interested in listening to me. They'll say, "Oh, are you still working, Mr. Dan?" No, I retired years ago. And they'll say, "Have a nice day." Have a nice day. I'm only sharing this with you. I realize the majority of my people here, was it a smaller one, Mike? So I'm reading Mike's message. Mike is saying that in Dumaguete, they closed one McDonald's and opened a new one with a drive-through. And it could very well have had a smaller footprint, like the one they just opened across or in Exposition Boulevard near LAX Airport. The one that I did in that video, I showed how it had become all self-serve. You know, it's all no, this is global. Larry, this is the scary thing. 128 countries have signed up saying that they're going to follow this schematic. 128 different countries have said they're going to all go to make-believe food. It's pretty interesting stuff. They've said, do I know that, is there any, can I present any factoids for you? I probably could. So 128 folks. So everybody is, so here's the thing. Somebody did a video recently on YouTube, and I can't remember the name, but it had to do with that the mass exodus of Americans to the Philippines. But it's not really a mass exodus. I was just like, see, I liked the video enough because they were doing what I oftentimes do, and that was they were embellishing the truth. But the Philippines isn't very, very high up, in terms of the number of countries that Americans leave for. But the reasons are mostly all the same. It's because of the low cost of living. And so number one, obviously, is Mexico. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Well, you are going to be paying for it with make-believe money. Tim, that's an interesting thing that you just said, because of course it's already make-believe money, right? They're talking about issuing you out digital tokens through GCASH. Oh, that'll be fun. Marian Salonga is here. Hi, Marian. Not even 1% of Americans are going to the Philippines. That's probably true. But I think the number 2 country that they're immigrating to is Canada. And I was kind of shocked by that, but not too much. And that must have something to do with the healthcare opportunities there. And then I think Ecuador was way up on the list, and so was Costa Rica, and the usual places. But I was kind of surprised. Philippines was actually, I'm not even sure that the Philippines made the top 10. I'd have to take a look at it. But I think they were like number 11 or number 12, something like that. Oh, speaking of that, so my GCASH has not worked. Yeah, I know. I told a story about how mine crashed, and we have a local rocket scientist, an IT expert, who came over to help, and she was able to reactivate it in like 10 minutes. So I call her now when I have a problem, a real difficult one I need to deal with. Chrissy Manzanero is here. I have to. I call her. I don't worry about it, because I know she's going to take care of it. And by the way, she has taken care of it. I sent her on a document run to Tacloban, and she was able to bring the documents back that I requested, all signed, sealed, and delivered with an authorization stamp. What do they call that? Proof of originality, a certified copy of the document I needed. She was able to get it back here in 1 day. Now, it was no easy task, and I compensated her for the time. It was no easy task to go there to the immigration office and get the document that I needed, or it wasn't the immigration office, right? It was vital statistics. Yeah. I mean, really, truly, I told her, I said, you know what, there's a gold mine here. And I think that she is just now starting to realize that there's tremendous opportunity as they convert everything over to online and AI and all this other stuff that old folks like myself struggle with. They don't call me low tech Dan, obviously, for nothing. Yeah, Canadians really don't want me there. I know, I've been there a few times. They really don't want me there. Every time I visit, right, every time I went over the Canadian border, I used to go over, I'll tell you the story. I used to go over I'd fly into Boston, whether I was in Sacramento or Los Angeles, I would visit all my relatives. I'd be heading north, and I would end up in a little town called St. Albans, Vermont. St. Albans, Vermont are where kids from my first marriage lived for many, many years. So I'd make that trek there to visit them, and then I would go north. And then I would go north over to the closest border from there, which means I had to travel. Well, St. Albans, I think, was only 20 minutes from the closest border into Canada. Well, one day I show up to the Canadian border because I'm going to go into Montreal and have a good old time, find some soccer players to throw back pints with, meet a few friends in the basement cafes and the like, and then I get stopped by Border Patrol. What is it? I get stopped by Customs, and they tear the car apart, looking for something. I find out later that what? Did you hear that the new divorce law had passed on the third reading? No, I did not hear that. That's amazing. That's impossible. And but I have been complaining to people that the Catholic Church here in the Philippines has been silent on most issues that they used to chime in on regarding things like birth control and marriage and things like that. And I'm very, very surprised. I'm very surprised. Every man, stop spamming us. Maris is here. Hi, Maris. How are you? Maris is in the house. Stop spamming us, every man, or I'm going to have to do what Mark did to you. I'm going to have to ban you from Jen's channel. Oh, he did not say that. That's terrible. I do apologize to you. I would never ban you, Mark, for anything. Mark, what do they call that? Ninja Mark? No. Make-believe Mark or whatever it is. So anyway, these things, the reason why I share them with you is so that you be prepared. And would I actually take some of this advice in order to, if I were to make a decision on my educational future, and then I'm going back to what Tim said earlier, the Pope has declared that God loves gay. Well, you got to love everybody. I love everybody. I mean, yeah, you're human. You're human. We're not here on this planet for very long. It doesn't really make any sense not to love thy neighbor. I mean, honestly, don't you feel the same way? Yeah. So, anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, I definitely, you have to keep your eye. If you're a youngster and you're still in school, so what you, yeah, even more. Yeah. So what you do is, you have to look around the world to see what's happening. In my humble opinion, which is it's just my opinion, right? I realize I'm talking about controversial stuff that I'll probably be eventually banned for. Pinky Gray is here. Hi, Pink. How's life, Pink? How's life, Pink, in the north? We're getting rain finally. Rainy season is finally here. We have a tropical storm that came in. It's been dumping rain here, and I'm loving it. So, and it's cooled down. It's cooled everything down. I don't even have any of the, I do have one AC unit working outside the door just to keep this basement office a little bit cool in here. Good to see you, Pink. And from ma'am Minnie, I don't know where she, again, she's in cooking. She got some newfangled machine that bakes a chicken in 10 minutes. I don't know. She's playing around with it. I just want to enhance your, but it doesn't need to be enhanced. See, the whole thing is I'm done with that part of it. It's all cash now from here on out. Cash is king. Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins now. It's all about the cash. All right. So Larry, you are always welcome to Canada, but Dan, not always allowed. Yeah, I was going to say they tore the car apart, and then after they didn't find anything and they put everything back together, Angelica is here. They said to me, well, you're not staying that long, are you, sir? You're not planning. That was their way of saying, if you wouldn't mind making a U-turn and getting the hell out, that would be nice. So I said to them, no, as a matter of fact, I think I will just, if it's okay with you fellas, I'll just go ahead and make a U-turn and head back into the States. And they said that would be just fine with us. And then when I crossed over the border, I got stopped on the other side. They held me up on the American side. And they said, what do you think you're doing? You know, you make a wrong turn into a wrong country or a right turn into a right country. I made a right turn into the wrong country. Would that be would that be an answer that I could say? Oh my gosh! And I haven't been into Canada since, quite frankly. Those were the good old days, though. All right, so I did give the disclaimer. So I would like to go over. So I'm going to talk about healthcare, but first, oh, I did. All right, so watch. Here are Dan's tells. All right, when Dan is not telling the truth. All right, I do this. Anytime I do this, I do this, I do this, and I do this. So whenever there's a half truth, an embellishment, or hyperbole, right? I make those moves. I do like this, like this, like this. So now you know. Dan lied. Dan just lied to us. That's pretty funny, right? Uh-oh, here in the north, so hot the weather, we are hoping for rain. The rain's coming. The rain's making its way north. And, you know, it always hits Luzon. It always, right before it leaves the country, it hits the northern tip of Luzon, right before it leaves and then heads for Taiwan and China and all parts north. Yeah, that's right. Most people who lie touch their face. He's exactly right. And so if you would like more information on that, then there's a book. It's called Interview and Deception. I highly recommend that you read that book because it's not only going to tell you about yourself, it's also going to tell you about other people and when they're being deceptive, right? Oh, that's so much fun. I'm just trying to help people out here. Understand the human condition, right? All right. So, let's see. God repairs us here. Yeah. Well, I'm just listen. I don't make it. I tell the way it is. I speak the truth. I never lie to you. Would I lie? Oh my gosh, I'm having such a good time. What about you? Are you having such a good time? All right. Woo. If you touch other parts, that means something else. Yeah, like you're a pervert, right, Mike? Leave my private parts alone. I'm warning you for the last time. Rider Adventures here, God repairs. We're all having a good time. We're all friends here, you know. If strangers were in the house, well, things might not go over so well, right? All right, so now back to the healthcare. Of course, healthcare, even, I'm going to tell you, even if you're starting out at the basic level of being a CNA, a certified nurse's assistant, you're going to make money. And you're going to make money right here in the Philippines. There's no need to leave the country and work outside the country because the economy of the Philippines, although you can't see it, it is growing like crazy, and they're going to need educated folks to work right here at home in the Philippines. Yeah, it's okay if you want to work day and night in the United States to earn barely enough money to pay your rent. It's okay if you want to do that. It's okay if you want to pay an incredible 200,000 or 300,000 pesos per month for rent, the way some of my Filipino friends do right now, and they're happy to do it. Well, from what they've told me, leaving one job and heading for the next. I usually only get about 10 seconds with them. Edwin, how's it going? Oh, Dan, I'd love to stay and talk, but I'm late for my second job. It's quality of life, and it's the experience, and it's the happiness scale that is number one here in the Philippines. Why would an old dog, you see how he did that, Mike? Why would an old dog like me want to move to the Philippines? Why would an old dog want to move here? It's because there's all kind of help for an old man here, right? when my time comes, right? When my time comes, I will be able to find help. I'll be able to find a caretaker, and it's not going to cost me my entire life savings in order to get that live-in caretaker. That's why, right? Okay, if you want to be a teacher, forget about it. Teaching is, there's no more, everybody is going to be learning online from home. Teaching in the United States is becoming a profession that's going to become extinct. It's going to be instinct pretty soon. Instinct, extinct. Instinct is knowing that something's going to occur. I have good instinct, but I also have an understanding that of what certain occupations were going to go extinct. And one of those is going to be UPS driver. One of those is going to be teacher. One of them is going to, there's just a whole bunch of them. It's all going to become push button. Even medical profession is going to change. For example, now when I go home, Minnie and I are probably going to go back to the States this year towards the end. Towards the end, when we get back, and I won't be flying a Boeing 777. Just a little airplane joke there. I'll be looking for an Airbus 350 to fly home. Yeah, they make about 100K also. They're making 80 to 100K in the States also, Mike. But they won't need them anymore because they're sending them home saying, hey, why don't you teach 500 students from your house? We're banning driving. You can't drive to the school no more. We're shutting down the school because it's got air conditioners. It would cost too much money to upgrade them. You know, we have to keep the students comfortable. They're more comfortable in their own homes. It's going in reverse there, you see. They're getting rid of the teachers. Right. So instead of having, so classroom size will most certainly expand, but not in the way that you think. It's going to expand because they'll be teaching 500 kids from the comfort of their living room. See? So you'll be there, you'll have a kid there, right? You'll have to be able to see their face on your computer screen. And then over behind that monitor is going to be whatever television show that is their favorite TV show they'll be watching, right? Most schools in the Philippines don't have aircon. And so, as you know, in Cebu, they declared a state of emergency for that reason. It was too damn hot. Crops failed. The schools were too hot. They didn't have AC. They can't afford to put AC in there. And so they sent them home with lesson plans. The books. The books. You remember the books, don't you, Anime? The books? Mama Gina's here. So, yeah. That's why I started the Dogmatic Jan channel. You don't want to have to hear about all this crap on this channel. This is about unicorns, and this is about rainbows and hearts and love and happiness. How do you do it? Like this? This is about friendship, and this is about doing humanitarian things and stuff like that. Thank you, Tim. Tim said it's the modules. Ah, not the modules. Anything but the modules. By the way, here's another sign. Somebody's playing with their hat. That would be a sign. See, like this. All of a sudden, you turn it. They become uncomfortable. They do this. See, like that. This. Whatever they have. Pen, fingers. Let's see, what else? Oh, this. Right? Uh-huh. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And so they're all trained, you know, interviewers at immigration and police departments, wherever they have to conduct interviews. They're trained in deception. Dan, I heard last night on local news that they're predicting that many colleges will be closing over the next few years. Nobody's going to go, Larry, because there aren't any jobs available that require college. You know, and the ones that you used to be able to get as a teenager working the fry station robots are being assigned. Thank you for sharing out, Bad Daw TV. Thanks for sharing it out. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. So you see, the whole world economy is changing, but an interesting thing happened I'd like to share with you. An interesting thing. The Republican Congress just passed through the House some law that forbids the currency, central digital currency. So, you know, this thing doesn't have a chance in hell of surviving in the Senate. I just would like to point out. But it was interesting that the Republican Congress actually felt, the Republican House of Representatives actually felt the need in order to pass a law that restricts the use of, not restricts it, but forbids the use of digital over paper currency. Wow, a valiant fight right before election time. A valiant effort made. Let's increase Social Security payments again. That ought to get somebody in office. Woo. I wouldn't go as far as to say we're becoming a banana republic, but it sure does seem like that to me. You know, it really does, you know, and there's a lot of fear going on in the United States on the news that you don't hear about here, because people don't watch TV here as much. They play games, they're on the TV, but they're playing video games, right? They're not watching the news. It's a whole new generation, Sekbuchi, welcome. It's a whole new generation of kids. If you have preteens or teens, you know what I'm talking about. They're more into having experiences than are they interested in anything else that's going on, like politics and the economy and different things like that. Yeah. So, I mean, things are just different. They're just different. And I wouldn't know, the bottom line to my rant tonight is I wouldn't know one way or another whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. No, I have no idea. I'm just a human being. You know, my crystal ball is not working very well these days. I mean, I could predict simple things, like, I mean, certain things are obvious, you know, and then so I rant about things that are the obvious, you know, things about commissaries and things like that. Those things you could see coming. As a matter of fact, even here in the Philippines, somebody told me, who was it? Was it Mertz's husband? We were having lunch over at Seaside last month or month before last, and Mertz's husband, I do apologize for not remembering his name. Bakdale Mertz, what's your husband's name? He was telling me that the centralized food commissary thing is already starting to happen in the Philippines. That they're starting to figure out that they could do this way more efficiently if they have a centralized location for which they could distribute the food out. So there's Mertz. Mertz, didn't your husband say that? Ferdy, Sir Dan. Okay, Ferdy. So I believe it. Of course, I believe it. Of course, I was a little bit shocked too at the same time. I wasn't really, you know, saying that those things were going to happen overnight. But folks, they're happening overnight. They are happening overnight. It's going to make your head spin. You know, it's going to swivel around like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. Is Linda Blair still around, by the way? I wonder if she is, you know. We should have like a Linda Blair marathon, and we should watch all of her old movies. How would you like that? Maybe one day I'll just play, for one of my live streams, I'll just play all old Linda Blair movies like The Exorcist, you know. I don't think she was in the follow-up movie. Was she? Who knows? Who knows if Linda Blair was in the follow-up movie? No, that's not a test question to win the 200 pesos. All right. You met Linda Blair. Was she on a yacht? Was she on your yacht, or was she on a cruise ship? Did she buy art from you, Everyman? Everyman was one of the finest art salespeople that money could buy. You know, so except they kept beating Everyman out of his commission. That's the problem. So he ended up broke in the Philippines, started a YouTube channel, that did spectacular, and then now it's kind of like it still can, you can still get $20 out of a video. Oh, by the way, let me catch up to date. Mel's here. Hi, Mel. Let me catch up there. Melanie, let me ask you a question. Are you having a fiesta there? Is there a fiesta going on in your barangay right now? Because some of my house staff disappeared and someone told me they were in Caridad. I went looking around. Bring me my supper. And then someone said, it cannot be done, Sir Dan. Why not? Because your servant woman is in Caridad at the fiesta. No. Listen, I do apologize. I don't refer to any. They're like family to me. I don't refer to any of the help as being servants. I do not. All right. So here's the thing. I don't even have help. It's the mom-in-law that went. It's mom-in-law. It's the mom-in-law and Minnie's helper. They went. All right. I have nothing to do with it. I don't even pay the salary. All right. I'm glad I got that out of the way. All right. For making that very rude comment. 25 million people in the house. We're getting ready to draw 3 opportunities for pesos 200. So what I was saying about the healthcare occupation, to wrap that part of it up, is that you won't be going, there's not going to be any need to go to a foreign country because you'll have plenty of work right here in the Philippines. That's the point. And if you go to another country thinking that you're going to earn all kind of money, it's going to be true, but you're also going to pay all kind of money back in rent, taxes, services, food, and transportation, and everything else. And so that's the point that I was trying to make. What's more important to you, the making of money or the culture of happiness and hope for the future that exists here in the Philippines? I was saying that, they rule by fear in the United States and in a lot of Western countries, always talking about threat of nuclear war and things like that. That's terrible. Terrible. I still, see, I tell the story, I almost cry every single time I tell it. I can't even get it out anymore. It just upsets me so much. But those of you that were born during the Cold War, that grew up in the United States, one of the childhood memories that shall never leave you is the being kicked underneath your desk table at school, talking about how the Russians were going to drop a nuclear bomb, and some kind of way crawling underneath your desk at school was supposed to help save you. That's the most stupid thing. And so we're little kids. I don't even know what a nuclear bomb is. But here's my my preschool teacher talking about, oh, you need to crawl underneath that desk, Dan, and you need to cover your head because the Russians are going to drop the big bomb on you. Oh my gosh. I will take the culture of happiness anytime over money. Cheers to you, every man. Cheers to you. My sister-in-law moved to New Zealand. Beautiful. That's a beautiful story. They lived apart for 13 years and now they're together as one. That's a beautiful thing. So go learn. So now we have a very close Filipino friend. LV is her name. And LV, I love you, LV. If you're listening, I love you, LV. I just want to say that she's a nurse, and she's she's not a nurse. She's in the medical profession. She's Filipina, and she provides excellent care and excellent healthcare advice. And she got her start by going to school right here in the Philippines. And that's what you should be doing because the need is going to be tremendous. For sailors, not so much. For sailors, not so much. Because they're going to be, not unless they want to train you to lob bombs at the Chinese when they come into the South China Sea and they infringe, on Philippine territory. That's most likely what will end up happening to you. Not you making a bunch of money delivering spatulas, plastic spatulas, or little toys like this to the Philippines or America or anybody else. You know, those days, occupations like that, they only last a generation and a half or so. Yeah, and so if you go and you do some research, you know, you'll read stories also about a story that I have to share. I've shared before. It's about my father. He'd always say, "Oh, be a telephone linesman," you know, because that's guaranteed employment. It's a union job. You'll be able to raise a family on that. And so he did. And so he did successfully for 37 years until they came to him and said, sorry, Mr. Dan's dad, but your job no longer exists. You have 24 hours to clean out your locker. That's one generation. You know, and so here's me being the dick that I am as a kid, as a young man, saying to my dad, how'd that telephone linesman job work out for you, Pops? I'm sure glad that I'm a homeless idiot. Then I won't have to put up with the disappointment of losing my job after dedicating 37 years of my life to the company. Beware of the company. I beg you to beware of the company. Number one employment, I suspect, in the United States, and I suspect for the Philippines, is government work. That's the growth industry, guaranteed retirement, government work. You know, so if you're going to go to work in the medical profession, a good place to start might be a government job in the healthcare industry. And I know we know plenty of people because we're in that barangay where the healthcare professionals, they live around us. And so I have conversations with them all the time. I know what's going on. Jerry, I call South Texas home. How are you, my friend? When's your next trip to the Philippines? All right, it's 7 o'clock and I have bantered enough. I've made a fool of myself several times. Anna G, I'm blaming it all on the Fundador. You can see right there that I have an empty glass. All right, so here's what we're going to do. There are, almost 30 million people here. And you have 3 opportunities to win pesos 200. I got my pin out. I'm getting ready to write numbers. But the way we're going to do it today is, I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. We're only going 1 to 30. So you're going to guess the number in my head. I'm going to write down, well, it's in my head initially, and then it's going to be down on this piece of paper. And then, oh, wait, I did this. That truly was an itch. I'm scratching my itch. Because I'm actually going to do what I say. So the numbers are from 1 to 30, right? 1 to 30. And I'm going to write down the number and you'll have an opportunity. The first person to guess, Miles. Miles is here. Hi, Miles. Are you coming over tonight? Miles needs a jacket. Hang on, everybody. I have to find Miles. Miles, are you coming over to drink tonight? Let's see. Yeah, I think I know who this is. Oh, you're eating in the kitchen. You're here already. Okay. All right. Well, I have to. I'm lost. I'm gonna. Oh, there you are. Okay. Let's see, Miles. Did you subscribe to my channel yet, Miles? Did you subscribe yet? Because it's asking me, let's see, moderator. Yeah, you did. Okay, add as a moderator. So you're blue. You're true blue. Okay, we'll be catching up to you in a few minutes. All right, so now once you win, though, you're out of it. You have to give someone else a chance. So you can't guess another time, right? This is for pesos 200. So that's 3 opportunities to win. And once we pick a winner, and you guys are going to be, not only are you going to say, oh, so-and-so won, but by following up on the list, because, it's easy for me to do it that way. Once we get consensus on who won, then we'll do it again. We'll roll the dice again. I will put the words start here in the chat. And then when I say stop guessing, because I think someone has the number, then we'll go back and see who the winner is. So that's for guess between 1 and 30. It's a number between 1 and 30. I don't care how many times. Honestly, I thought of it as I don't care how many guesses you give, just so long as you're the first person to guess the correct number up there, right? All right. But once you win, you have to yield the next game to somebody else. You know, give them an opportunity to win. All right, I'm ready to go. So I have a lucky number in my brain already. And I'm writing it down. And I'm sending it out there to you. But do not start guessing until I put start into the chat. And I think I could do that. I'm not doing it from my phone. I actually, on my monitor, I have the YouTube chat up. So if I press enter, it does come, it does work. It says start. Start guessing the number between 1 and 30. Between 1 and 30. Oh my gosh, it's going by so fast. It's going by so fast. Oh my gosh, I think I see the number, and so we're going to call stop. Stop. Anything below stop does not count. So stop. We have a winner somewhere in here. All right, let me show you the number. Okay, you guys ready? The number is number 8. 8. Number 8. Somebody in here I know guessed it. So I want you to go back and I want you to tell me who won. I'm going to look. I might know who won before you do, but it's from when I put start in there. Okay, everybody's saying it's God Repairs. All right, God Repairs is the winner. Does anybody object? It's God Repairs. God Repairs, make sure that you send me, or if you want everybody to know, you give me your GCASH account in the chat, or you can send it to me private message. Do I have it? Let me see if I have it here. Congratulations, God Repairs. God Repairs. Do I have your number here in the chat, in my index file? Yeah, I do. God Repairs, I have it. I'm going to write it down right here. Yeah, I have it. Let me double check. God Repairs are the last 4 numbers, 7518. Are the last 4 numbers of your account 7518? I think so. All right. God Repairs is the winner. Congratulations. Correct. Okay, I got it. That was easy, for crying out loud. Okay. Round 2 for pesos 200. Beautiful. Thank you, God Repairs. Pesos 200. We're going to go round 2. And the I got it in my head. I'm writing it down on my index card here. And when I put start in the chat, that's when you start guessing. How many people do we have in here right now? We have 36 million people. Very nice. Thank you all for participating. I really appreciate it. Now you can start guessing once I put the start in the chat. Okay, let's see. Start is showing up. Start guessing. Do, 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 do. Oh my goodness, I see the number already. Holy smokes, stop guessing. I think we have a winner. Stop. It happened so fast. Stop. Stop. In the name of love. Dee dee. That's the only part. Those are the only words I know. All right, so here it is. It is number 21. Number 21 is the winner. So tell me who won. Tell me who won so I don't have to go look it up. Anna Mae had 21. Who else had 21? Yanarine had 21. How do you guys know? Did I send that? Did I say something? Malwama had 21. It's Anna Mae. Are you sure? Are you sure it's Anna Mae? Anna Mae wins. Wow. Oh my gosh. How could you possibly be so lucky? Okay, it's a good thing. It's all good. Anna Mae, I think I have your GCASH, right? I know I have your PayPal. Let me see if I have your GCASH. Anyway, you have my chat. So you can just double check me and send it so that I can send that out right away to you. You can do it now. You could put it in Messenger if you want. Make sure that goes to your GCash account as opposed to your, oh, here it is. Here it is. Anna Mae. Is the last four 1446? Anna Mae? I have Anna Mae. It's right here. All right. Congratulations. Congratulations to God Repairs and Anna Mae Reyes. All right, we're down to the wire. The last one, right? The last pesos 200 winner. And the numbers are between, okay, I got you covered, Anna Mae, between 1 and 30. So between 1 and 30. Will I go high or will I go low? Will I go high or will I go low? Don't you know? That's for you to guess and for me to know. So I want you to start guessing when I put start in the chat, which is going to happen right now. Start guessing. Guess. From 1 to 30, who's going to win the last 200 pesos? Oh my goodness. Somebody has won. Stop. I saw the number already. I saw the number. Stop guessing. Stop guessing. All right, let's find out who our third and final winner is of the Friday Night Live from here in the Philippines. It is number 2. Number 2's the winner. Number 2's the winner. Number 2. How are you? All right, a few of you got number 2. So let's check this out to see. Start. It looks like it is Maris. Melanie. Oh, wait, people are saying Melanie. Dan, I'm still guessing 0. All right, let me go back and look. Number 2. Is it Melanie? You guys, is it Melanie? Yes, you're all winners. All right, everybody is saying it's Mel. Okay. Melanie it is. I believe I have Melanie's GCash. I believe I have Melanie's GCash. So let me take a look. I have poor eyesight. That's why I'm having you guys do it. I look in here and I, you know, especially now that I'm using the phones, you know. Let me just see if I have Melanie. Melanie, can you send me your GCash? It says Minnie O has number 2 also. It's the first one to put up number 2. Are you guys 100% correct. It's Mel on that number 2. Can somebody double check that and chime in again? Oh, Mel, I got it. I got your GCASH number here. Mel, is the last 4 3495 on your GCASH account? All right. Okay. Every man says, Melanie, send me your GCash also. Oh, sure. Is that why you want? You're going to send her money, are you, every man? What a generous fellow. It's Melanie, 10th answer on the chat. All right. Mel, is it? Oh, I see. I was looking at the wrong. Thank you so much. I was way up in the chat. I got messed up here. All right, everybody. I was looking in the wrong place completely here. All right. Thanks so much for playing along. And we'll come up with a happier subject, a more pleasant subject, like a volcano eruption or something like that, to talk about on the next live stream. But we'll see you guys. We're going to see everybody in a week or so, okay? You guys have a nice weekend. And if you guys have anything that you want to chat with me about, most of you have my messenger chat. We'll see you all later. Have a great weekend, and bye-bye. See you next week. Bye.